We lost Jason just as we went live. And yes, we are live. Don't try resetting your clocks. They are correct. It is only 8:05. We're going an hour early tonight because my sleep is all screwed to hell. So I didn't know if I can make it past 9 o'clock tonight. So I decided, I'm going to do this at 8:05 instead of 9:05. So yeah, we're just doing an hour early. So with us so far, we have Kingpin. How are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. Real quick translation. Rich says he has to go to bed early tonight. That means the show will be over at midnight.
God, I hope not. That's why there's only two guests and not a whole panel. Uh, and then we also have Jason Stewart. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Rich. Feel rested up, ready to do all nighter.
Yeah. Well, I kind of pulled the muscle in my calf the other day, and it
What was you pulling your cat's muscle for?
no, not my cat's muscle, calf muscle. The muscle on the back of your leg.
Oh, your leg.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that sucks.
I
yeah.
thought he was hanging out with Snob, pulling on a calf muscle.
And, no, I'm not going to go all the way to Oklahoma for that.
Cowboys love fat calves.
No, no, I don't know what I did to do it. I honestly don't. I just know I went up and laid down, and all of a sudden it just hurt like a son of a bitch. Made it
If you
harder.
were drinking more water and eating more salads, you probably wouldn't have had that happen.
Yeah.
Definitely, salad would prevent that. Definitely.
Mhm. Now, by salad, do you mean like a Whopper? Because it's got lettuce and tomato on it.
Did you ever see the movie Stir Crazy?
Uh huh.
Try that salad. The one the rich people ate at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Try it full bit more of that wonderful salad.
Anyway, oh man, this is starting off on the right foot. Uh, yeah, we got a couple injury updates we need to get through. So, you guys remember when we were watching Forbidden Door a couple weeks ago and how the main event ended, and we're like, "Ooh, somebody's injured." Well, yeah, somebody was injured. Adam Cole, the one who took the pinfall, he already had a torn labrum in his shoulder, so he was going to be taking a couple weeks to a month off for that to heal up. Well, he suffered a severe concussion in that match, and they don't know when he's going to be back. So that's one injury update. And G23's out there. What the fuck? Yeah, I went an hour early because my sleep's all screwed up, and I didn't know if I was going to make it all the way through the show. So if I went any later, G23. So yeah, I had to go a little earlier tonight. But most people will just watch this on a replay anyway, so that's how it goes. But yeah, and then the other injury update. You guys remember Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson's been injured. They're now saying that he has a severe concussion, and they don't know when he's going to be back. Originally, they were saying it was only going to be a couple of weeks. Now they're saying they have no idea when he's going to be able to return either. So, yeah, with him, that's definitely not a good thing because he has a history of concussions. If you remember back, that's what caused him to have to retire for a couple of years. Was the concussions he had taken, and they did that experimental treatment and everything that seemed to work. Well, now he's out with another severe concussion, so that's touch and go with him on whether he'll be able to be back or not. Yeah, the injuries keep piling up. Hey, Kev, man, you need to get a new hero. I'm telling you. Oh God, the Vince McMahon thing gets worse this week. I even got an article from an actual newspaper this time. But, yeah, what do you guys think about this injury shit that's going on? I mean,
I'm surprised more of them's not hurt. Actually,
yeah, yeah,
A lot of the top billing people, Charlotte Flair's hurt, Big E still hurt, Dustin Rhodes' son is hurt. Uh, Jeez, who else? That one guy blew out his knee.
Cody Rhodes' chest is all screwed up.
Yeah, that's the guy.
two guys blew out their knees. Yeah, yeah. The one we watched at WrestleMania when he had blew his knee out, and then Santana blew his knee out last week during Blood and Guts. We talked about that last weekend. I mean, it's and another one, the NXT UK British Heavyweight Champion had to give up, surrender his title because he's injured. He's got a leg injury.
He surrendered his title.
Yeah, unlike CM Punk.
You say the guy's from England.
Yeah. Well, no, he's from Russia. He wrestles in England. He wrestles in their in WWE's UK division. Yeah, I mean, it's injury shit, and it's cross promotion. I mean, it's not like it's all happening in one promotion. You got guys going down in AEW, Impact, New Japan, WWE. It's happening everywhere.
So are the are people getting hurt more in the pay per views? You think versus the weekly shows? Where do you think the injuries come from? They're trying to overdo it in the pay per views.
No, because if you look at it, Santana blew his knee out on a regular weekly TV show. CM Punk broke his foot on the regular TV show. They didn't not saying which show Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson got injured in. Um, the original injury that um, Adam Cole had, he injured that on regular TV. So
Let me
it's
see
a
if I
both.
can help because I think Jason's on the right track. I just think if we switch up the question just a little bit more, do you think that these injuries are coming because they're doing too much? They're trying to go overboard. Like we've been talking about that woman's ladder match. That was absolute insanity what those women were doing. Insanity. And it's like I've never even I wouldn't even think to ask somebody to do something crazy like that. So do you think they're pushing the envelope more, or are most of these injuries routine stuff like you know you twisted your ankle kind of routine, regular everyday match kind of stuff?
Some of them are just freak accidents. Like you look at Boogs and Santana, both of them blew their knee out doing a routine move. It was just a freak thing. Uh,
Yeah, but how routine? How routine is holding a 280-pound guy and then having a 280-pound guy jump on your back while you're holding that guy?
for the big strong guys, that's not that uncommon to see happen. John Cena would do that shit all the time. John Cena did it with Big Show and Edge.
And
You're
plus, thinking back, I don't think that second black dude was supposed to jump. I think he was supposed to just like roll on top of him and get picked up. So there's that option too.
and then Santana was just doing a standard Uranagi, which again, those of you who aren't familiar with that's like the rock bottom or the bookend. That's all he was doing. His leg collapsed wrong when he did the move and blew his knee out. A lot of it's just been that freak thing like that. Uh, how many times have we seen guys in matches kick a guardrail and be fine? CM Punk did it and broke his foot.
Well, also, okay, let's sharpen up the question a little bit more. Is it because the roster's not deep enough that a guy like Big E has got to do so much? Going back to Jason's point, Big E's got to do Raw and SmackDown and SummerSlam and ladder match. Because the roster's not deep enough.
Well, if you want to go there, the guys back in the old days, like in the 80s and that Thorn of Territory days, they were working 340 days a year. Some of those days they were doing 2 shows a day. So, and they weren't getting hit with injuries like they are right now. So, I mean, I don't know if it's the work rate either.
Well, it is a phenomenon in sports because you can go back to football from no helmets to when they started putting pads on, where you could slap a guy in the side of the head. You remember how rough football used to be. Like real men had to play the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And now the training is so technologically advanced. The players are so athletically dominant, but they're not exactly tough guys anymore.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of this is just like freak things that just you don't expect to have happen. I mean, the Big E one was a freak accident where because of just the way he landed when he did the DDT. I mean, that's a move that's been done. I don't know how many times on the outside, and guys have got up and walked away. The only time I can think of 2 times doing a DDT spot on the outside where the guy receiving it got injured, and in one of those occasions, it was the guy getting the DDT's fault that he got injured. One was back in the 80s when Ricky Steamboat was feuding with Jake Roberts, and Jake did the DDT on him on the outside. Jake didn't want to do it, by the way. Steamboat insisted that they do the move. Steamboat was didn't have his head positioned properly and suffered a severe concussion. And the other one is when Big E just got injured.
Can you imagine how much damage you could do to a person if you DDT'd them out in public? Like not a random stranger, but like I'm saying that you're a zombie's come up to you and you're in hand to hand combat with a zombie and you grab him and DDT it into the ground. That's gonna mess you up pretty bad.
Yeah, that's why these guys are trained professionals, and they always have that "don't try this at home" thing on the screen. They even put that in the video games. The "don't try this at home." Anyway, that's where we're at on the injuries right now. You gonna say something?
Oh no, just
So yeah, I mean it's bad right now. That's for sure. But yeah, let's get on to Kev's hero again.
yeah, yeah.
You need
He's
a new
busting.
hero, Kev.
He's busting at the seams, man. Let's get into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be like Vince when I grow up.
Uh, get over here to the story because again, actual newspapers now, not just wrestling um, reporters and stuff, are now covering the Vince McMahon thing because it's gotten worse. Remember how we were talking about he paid off a woman $2 million? That's just the tip of the iceberg. This comes from New York Post's business section. WWE's Vince McMahon reportedly paid $12 million in hush money to 4 women. This is in addition to the other one. So, in other words, that's 5 total now.
Well, hey, I'm with Kev, man. He is my hero. Way to go, old man. What's 12 million? He's a billionaire, man. So what?
The problem is, it's company money he's spending, not his own.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we have a problem there. But
Yeah.
pay it back.
It's from July 8th. So yes, this is stories from yesterday.
Who's the guy in the black and white?
I don't know.
Okay, that's not one of the four women.
No, obviously not. Well, you never know. Well, I mean, today it could be. Yeah. WWE boss Vince McMahon reportedly made hush money payments totaling $12 million to four female employees at the wrestling company. They said network. It's not a network. I mean, they own a network, but not in the United States because the network's only in Europe now. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. All of whom signed agreements in exchange for their silence on allegations of sexual misconduct. The bombshell report noted that the four women, who were not identified by name, signed agreements that prohibit them from discussing potential legal claims against or their relationship with the 76-year-old executive. The Wall Street Journal reported, the Wall Street Journal originally reported, so I'm not using the Wall Street Journal article because to use the Wall Street Journal online, you got to be subscribed to them. So I wasn't able to bring up the original Wall Street Journal article. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal reported on the hush money, the four. Whoever wrote this is terrible. Anyway, on the hush money payments, citing sources familiar with the matter and a review of documents detailing the agreements. The payments date back at least 16 years and include a single payment of $7.5 million to a former WWE wrestler who alleged Vince McMahon coerced her into oral sex. Following the incident, McMahon allegedly demoted the wrestler and then allowed her contract to expire. The payment was negotiated after the wrestler and her legal team confronted McMahon in 2018. In a separate incident,
Who do you think it was?
geez, I don't know, honestly.
Well, let's investigate this. How many years ago did they say?
Well, they said that the payment was negotiated in 2018, but they don't say when in 2018.
Maybe it was John Cena.
I don't think John Cena's a woman.
I mean, he is a bitch, though.
Yeah, we know he's a bitch, but I don't know if he's a woman.
Well, anyways, if they took the money and signed a contract, then I guess they're okay with it, then, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the problem.
the problem is now some accountant somewhere was like, "Why are we missing $12 million?"
Yeah, and a contract entered into using an act that's criminal in the first place that it leads to the contract and the settlement is null and void. So in other words, the if this is proven that he embezzled the money to pay them off, those non-disclosure agreements that they signed are null and void, and they can go and spill their guts to whoever they want.
Well, to me, it sounds like a work expense, man. Work expense.
Petty cash box.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
It was at work, for work, by employees. That's just, yeah, man. That's a
yeah, in
common
the
business expense.
in the words of Brian Stelter, it's nuisance money.
Tactical photos in the house.
Evening, Buck.
Hey, Buck. Yeah, I guess that's the only thing I guess ain't cool, using company money, but I gotta think he's smarter than that. There's gotta be more to it, or that's maybe false or something about the company money. I don't know.
The problem with
Could
most of it is it's believable that Vince McMahon would pressure a girl into giving him, you know, pleasure. But it's also very believable that some chick wanted to blow the boss to get a better job, and he accepted and didn't give her a better job, and she got mad. It's so hard to tell which one's lying. They're both probably lying somehow.
uh,
And that's why these things are investigated to try and come figure out
is it
exactly what the truth is from
is it
the half
possible
truths.
Vince paid him with company money, just to keep his name off of it, and then replace the company money? That way there wasn't like a paper trail that says I paid so and so lady.
The whole reason why this is coming out is because there is a paper trail.
Well, and there'd be a paper trail there too, because if Vince,
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a check with her name on it from Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? It would be a
right, yeah, but
cash or
with the
check to her from
investigators,
WWE.
right,
And
but
then
the
Vince donated 5 million to the paper cup fund of the company.
that's what they'd want to know. They'd be like, why would you do such a thing? You got
And
to,
there was and keep in mind, there's an anonymous whistleblower that led to all this investigation going on right now as well.
Oh, now we're at a day and age where I don't believe anonymous whistleblowers. If you got something to say it and let us know who you are.
No,
Anonymous whistleblowers, that's kind of shady nowadays.
yeah, but obviously it was enough to where the board's like, yeah, we got to look into this.
I don't know. I'm not gonna bet I would say that WWE is a large, successful corporation, and I'm sure this same thing happens in every single large, successful corporate operation.
But keep in mind, when we say anonymous whistleblower, it's not like when the newspaper, when CNN goes and gets an anonymous source and doesn't tell you who it is. The reason why this source is anonymous is under the whistleblower laws, the companies aren't allowed to reveal who the whistleblower is. They know who it is. The whistleblower, in and of themselves, is not anonymous to the company. They just aren't allowed to report the whistleblower's name for their safety under the whistleblower laws that were passed a few years ago when somebody tried killing one of the whistleblowers that for a major corporation. When they passed those whistleblower laws. So that's why it's an anonymous whistleblower. An anonymous whistleblower in this case doesn't necessarily mean that the person's lying. They're anonymous for their protection. It's like in TV shows, the names of the innocent have been changed. That whole thing. Names of,
Only the names have been changed to protect the guilty.
well, that too. But you know, innocent until proven guilty. So, but anyway,
did
that's
I don't know if you saw. Did you? Buck said he didn't get a link.
yeah. I only sent links to you and Jason, trying to keep the show short this week.
Well, Buck ain't gonna
Uh,
keep you up late. Send Buck a link.
All right. So,
in your face, Buck.
yeah, forward. If you guys want to have Buck come on, go ahead, forward him a link. But like I said, I only sent out 2 links. Oh, yeah,
So
that
is
was the first. That was Kev. That was the first woman that started this whole investigation. Was the fact that she was being passed around between Laurinaitis and Vince. By the way, Laurinaitis is also under investigation. It's not just Vince. So I mean, this could get worse for Vince because prior to this, going all the way back to the '80s, there's a female referee who worked for WWE back in the '80s who has repeatedly tried getting anybody who would listen to the fact that she claims that Vince McMahon raped her in the locker room.
Okay, well that's different though.
I sent you those links there, Buck.
Uh, 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 Rape and just fooling around for love connection at work's two dramatically different things, though. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
if he's guilty of that back then, there should have been an investigation. There should have been
keep in
something looked
mind,
into it. But just messing around with the girls at work and you're the richest man in the room and stuff, I'm not losing sleep over that.
yeah, keep in mind though, if you are the CEO of a corporation or even a executive in the corporation and you pressure an underling to have sex with you in in any means whatsoever under the law, that is rape. That is a sexual assault. So that
You take the fun out of everything, Rich. You're as bad as New York Outcasts.
Well, it's no different than a college professor who uses their position to have a student have sex with them in the classroom. It's a position of power, forcing somebody who is in a weaker position to do something that they may not otherwise do to try and get ahead, or else you're going to hold them back in the company or give them bad grade, what have you.
well
That's the
then,
reason why these things are illegal.
well then, Kamala Harris was raped all the way to the White House.
Pretty much.
Mystics in the house.
Hey, missed you.
Hey, Stacy.
Oh, the way I see it is, if you're a girl teacher, that stupid jock just got a scholarship, and if you fail him out of your class, he's going to get kicked off the football team, and then everybody in the college university is going to be mad at you. So he's got to give you a little something if he wants to stay the starting quarterback, or you're going to rock his GPA. And same thing with a girl. That dumb blonde, the school is forcing her to take this class, and she couldn't tell you what an egg is, much less what a 5 times 5 is. So you got to get something out of it. She's going to be sitting in your class for 2 hours. You might as well get something out of it. You know? That's only on the college level.
Yeah, sadly, we see that on the high school level as well.
Oh, I'm sure you got that.
So if you was a husband and wife and you owned your own company, they couldn't charge you with messing with the employee at work, then, right? Or could they?
Not if it's your spouse, no.
Like, like get charged with sexual harassment by your spouse? Is that possible?
Um, you know what? That's a gray area because there is what they call spousal rape charges now. So I wouldn't want to be the test case. Let's put it that way.
If I had to go to work every day with my wife, I'd call off sick every at least one day a week.
Stacy says if it was, she would have done it with when she worked with her husband. I'm going to assume she's talking about snob.
You can always start case precedent.
Oh, I'm sure if you dig somewhere, there's somebody that's tried it by now. Especially after they passed those spousal rape charges, laws and stuff.
Wonder if anybody ever got charged with rape because the girl had multiple personalities.
Yes, that actually has happened before, where the girl had what they called multiple personality disorder, and one personality went out clubbing when the other didn't know it, and then in the course of the night, the personalities changed, and the girl woke up next to a stranger and thought she had been raped. Now, yeah,
Jesus. I was just making that up. What a terrible world
yeah,
we live in. My God.
but it has actually happened. There was an episode, Law and Order. All their cases were taken from the actual news headlines. They actually did that on that show on the Law and Order. The special, I think it was Special Victims Unit, or no, it was the regular Law and Order because the girl when she woke up thinking she was raped murdered the guy. She killed the guy, and she claimed self defense.
Man, I hate to make fun of it. I actually know a girl that is like that. And one of them is kind of extra friendly, put it that way. But she has multiple personalities where, like, she answers to different names. And, like, she used to wear, like, a jacket or something, had an embroidered name on or whatever. She would have different names. And her voice was different. Just like the looks in her face was different. You could tell she had the multiple personality thing, you know what I mean? And a friend of mine actually took a liking to her, man, and they ended up getting married and everything. And I went over to their house one time, was walking up to the door to knock on the door, and I could hear him in there yelling at her, "Who the fuck am I talking to now?" I just turned around and walked away.
But anyway, on that Law and Order episode, it turns out the girl was faking the multiple personality disorder. They caught her in court, and she was convicted and sentenced to life in prison.
I wonder if you got multiple personalities, do you get to vote twice?
Well, shit depends on how many personalities you have, right?
That would be a minimum of two
Yeah,
to be multiple. So, like, could you vote Democrat and Republican and cancel yourself out?
yeah, yeah. Be registered to both. You know, one for each personality.
Inner torment, between your
Hey,
personalities.
check
One's
this
a
out.
Democrat, one's a Republican. That would make a great movie. That really
Check,
would.
check this out, man. You got somebody with four personalities. One's registered Republican, one's registered Democrat, one's registered Libertarian, and the other one's registered Independent.
See, Hollywood needs to listen. There's your next comedy movie right there. They could go to like a Trump rally with a Trump sign and be yelling, "I hate myself."
Cool. And better yet, you can have the person be a dude whose one personality is a female, and they go to the rally dressed like, remember the half man half woman they used to have at the circus sideshows back
Yeah,
in the day.
straight down the middle. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They probably actually have more of those walking around than we would think, probably nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so Vince got four of them accusing him now,
Five.
like five. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's the money deal, but like he should at least pay it back or something. I don't know. But like mad at him as a person for it happening, I don't blame him. Like I
Now,
said, I'm
remember, it's not the
happens every
five
day.
women. It's not the five women that have spoken out about it.
Well, didn't like doesn't like everybody don't like Wayne LaPierre, man? Ain't he doing the same thing?
I don't think he's been caught with five different women.
Well, one. Don't he got hired girlfriends with apartments and $80,000 a year jobs for nothing and shit? So I mean,
Not
what's the
that,
difference?
not that he's been caught. Nobody's come forward saying that that's the case with Wayne LaPierre. Wayne LaPierre's big thing is that he's out there spending all kinds of money on suits and shit and taking
Oh
corporate funds to do that.
no, I thought he had an assistant secretary that got paid a bunch of money for nothing, and everywhere Wayne went had her like an apartment nearby, and they spent like
Not
I
that I
don't know
recall.
eighty-two
I mean,
thousand
I'm not
dollars
saying
on
it's
her
not possible. I'm
apartments
just
or
saying I
something.
don't remember. I don't remember that. I just
Uh,
remember the big thing being about his private jet and the suits and other stuff that he was putting on the company door.
well, like I said, I think it'll not. I imagine Wayne's got to pay a lot more for a lady than Vince does. Vince is, at least a stud, So, and he's a businessman. I'm shocked that he paid the 12 million. Really, that's kind of shocking now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's a
He
total of
probably tried to
14.
Jew him down to a million apiece or something.
Well, the one did. One only got like a million. I want to know what the hell the other one actually all did to get 7.5. Because you got one, they got 1 million.
Ain't what they did is what Vince did.
Well, no, I mean they must have been good to get the 7.5.
Or
Well,
he must have been real bad.
yeah, but you're looking it's total 15 million because the first one was 3 million. Then you got this is 12 million for four more of them. One of them at 7.5 million. It's the single largest payout. So, I mean,
You think he had a woman dress up like Ted Turner and whip him while he hollered "More, Daddy"? Whatever happened to Ted Turner, man? He just sold off the wrestling stuff and took off, or
he
what?
sold off everything, and you know, him and Jane Fonda out there living on an island somewhere. I guess I don't know.
Oh, is he hooked up with Jane Fonda?
He had been.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah,
must
he
be on
married her a
Golden
long time
Pond or
ago.
something. I didn't know that. Jane Fonda, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Who do you think paid for all her damn exercise tapes?
Oh yeah, the Jane Fonda workouts.
Hmm. Yeah, the Hanoi Jane.
Annoyed Jane.
How is that woman not in prison as a traitor to the country?
She said COVID was God's gift to the left and then laughed about it.
Really? How old is she now? 90 years old or something?
Fuck, I don't know. She's got to be at least in her late 70s, you would think, right?
Well, maybe Vince had a girl dress up like her too. I don't know.
84 years old. December 21st, 1937.
I don't know. Vince is a pretty conservative guy. I don't know if he would go for a Hanoi Jane.
Yeah, going back to Jason's original point and probably Kevin's, he doesn't have to gutter trash like Jane Fonda. Why would Vince waste his time with somebody like that? He's got a nice 25-year-old athlete over here that's throwing the boom at him.
All I know is if I was in the money and power as Vince McMahon, I got caught spending a lot more than $12 million.
Yeah, I don't know about Sable there, Kev. I don't know if he'd want to risk Brock tearing his head off.
Probably plowed Brock too. So is Vince going to jail? What do you think? Like, speculate, Rich. What do you think's going to happen? Worst
If
case scenario. Give the worst case scenario first, and then you can go back and chop it all apart later.
worst case scenario, he could be looking at 5 counts of embezzlement with a maximum sentence of 20 years each. Served consecutively, that's a 100-year prison sentence. That's worst case scenario.
You think it's possible?
Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't think that's going to happen. If they decide that they're going to criminally charge him, I look for a plea deal to be reached. He may do 5.
You think we'll actually go to jail though?
If I not don't have all the evidence, I really couldn't tell you if he'd actually would go to jail. I'm giving you the best case if there's criminal charges, and worst case if there's criminal charges. Essentially,
Oh yeah, I mean obviously this is pure speculation. That's what
yeah,
I started with. The
yeah,
pure
but I
speculation.
don't. There's just not enough information out there right now to say for sure what they're going to do. Because remember, this is all preliminary. They haven't even really started ramping up the investigation really yet.
So do you think all the moves he's been making in the past year or so has been a build up to this?
To this in and of itself, no, because this just started.
You don't
I
think
think no. Before all this, it looked like a sale. It didn't look like a change of leadership. It looked like a sale, like they're getting ready to sell the company.
well, that's what I'm saying. If Vince is getting ready to get himself sued into oblivion, he might be liquidating assets and hiding stuff and moving. I'm sure Vince's lawyer didn't call him Friday morning and be like, "Oh, by the way, Vince, you're caught for embezzlement." They knew that this was coming for a while before it hit the press.
Not necessarily. All it
Well,
took was one. That's the thing with these kind of things when you get these anonymous whistleblowers. You don't see it coming. That's that's what got Nixon. He didn't see it coming.
okay.
Oh,
What if all this is not true? Or, the part of company money's not true, and this is just stories out there to lower the cost value of the WWE for the guy who wants to buy it.
That's why the board's investigating. That's why they're
it,
having the investigation run to find out what's going on,
it
so
could
that they
be
know where to go from there.
it could
It's
be
not a
even
work,
deeper.
Kev.
If you scroll down, you notice who you see in the next picture below.
Yeah, the Trump. You talking about the Trump picture?
That's right. Well, it's okay, not the next picture below, but
It was there somewhere. There it is.
there
It
it is,
was
right
above.
there. Yep. You think
That's
that
the
you think that they put Donald Trump's picture in there just for shits and giggles?
oh no.
There's always a motive to this stuff. Always.
No,
It's
no,
never about truth and justice. It's
yeah,
always about money,
yeah. And
power.
Kev, no, this is not a work. You don't. This right here is not a work. You do the main. If this were a wrestling storyline, you would not see mainstream media covering it like this. This absolutely is not a work because all of this also has to be filed with the SEC because of the stock options and other stock holdings and whatnot that Vince McMahon has. There is no way this is a work. None. And you damn sure wouldn't have the Wall Street Journal reporting on it if it was a work. Not like this, they don't.
Yeah, this is a completely negative press in the strongest way. That wouldn't be any way
No.
to do something. This is completely negative at your character and financial stealings and stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal is a super serious business paper that is read by every corporate CEO in the at least the United States and possibly around the world. They would not be involved in a work with a wrestling company. That would hurt their reputation so damn bad.
You know what's too bad? They don't have the Shane McMahon laptop.
Wall Street Journal's reputation is pretty much sullied anyway because of their political bias. But you are 100% correct. There's no way just Vince McMahon related that they're going to be like, hey, let's do something for Monday Night Raw. That's no way. But they definitely threw Donald Trump's picture in there because Vince McMahon is accused of sexual assault. So let's tie that to Donald Trump because Donald Trump's a rapist Nazi.
A frequent visitor at Epstein Island. Was there some kind of list or something that came out last week about that Epstein Island? I heard somebody talking about it, and I searched the internet, and I didn't see any new news that wasn't years and years old. But I thought I heard somebody say something surprising, all the celebrities and people's name on it.
There's the flight log. Uh, that's been public for quite a while. But any evidence from the Ghislaine Maxwell case or the final Epstein case, apparently they were trafficking kids to no one.
Yeah. Vince overcame the steroid thing, but he also had to pay, the company also had to pay out hefty fines for that. This,
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
this is
Congress
a
nailed him on that, didn't they?
yeah, this is a completely different animal because there weren't actually criminal charges that were handed down in that one. This one, Vince is personally looking at potential for criminal charges filed by the company against him with the Justice Department. This is not something that he is going to easily overcome at all if that happens.
So,
Again, if they file criminal charges, Vince is going away for at least 5 years.
all right, Vince goes away for 5 years, gets sued for the 12 million. Plus, you figure let's throw another 5 million on top for lawyer fees and all that other kind of
Well,
court
that
cost and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
you're looking at millions of dollars in fines from the government too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is that add another five. We'll call it all in all. Vince is in for $20 million. 5 years in jail, $20 million out of his pocket. Does he survive that, or is he, looking for a VH1 celebrity housemate TV show when he gets out of jail?
I think you was asking earlier what worse. I think if he did even get charged for all that and pled guilty or whatever, he'll go to one of them celebrity prisons like Martha Stewart did. He'll only do a year and a half or something,
Mm-mm.
and the money amount and none of that will ever even
No,
matter. Cause
there's minimum.
he'll just be stuck with the hanging over his head. You just went to prison, and either the celebrityness welcomes you back instantly on day one, or you can go right away. You can
No,
do one or
he's
the other.
if he even if he takes a plea deal, he's done. There there's not going to be any going back. He will be banned from the business by the government will not allow him to get back into the business. There are minimum sentencing requirements in these types of cases as well.
That's what I'm saying. Does he have the money and the assets to survive that when he gets home, or is he one of the squeegee kids?
No, he won't be one of the squeegee kids, but his time as a wrestling promoter will be over.
Could he sail off into the sunset and just be
Yeah,
a regular dude with a bunch of money and nobody's
that's
gonna
pretty
bother him
much
anymore?
that's pretty much what will happen.
So that's exactly what won't happen. Like, that's unfortunate about some of these people because if all this does go down bad for events like that, and he gets comes home and pretty much shunned out of the business world, if he does have enough money to just go relax somewhere and enjoy the rest of his life with where nobody's really going to bother him except for the occasional, hey, can I have your picture? He'll probably do some stupid stuff like OJ, and he'll go golfing with OJ and be the next Sherlock Holmes looking for OJ's killer. He won't stay out. He won't be able to keep his. He can't resist it.
No, when you got that narcissistic personality and you have to be in charge of everything to the point that Vince tries to control WWE, no, he's not going to be satisfied to just be sitting at home.
Okay, what state is all this going down in? What 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 state? What law has the authority over this one?
Well, if you look, it wouldn't be first. It would be federal for the embezzlement. If he's charged with the sexual harassment and all that other stuff, that has to come from the individual ladies. If they don't come forward, he's not looking at any state crimes. Everything's federal that he's looking at.
I don't know, man. Vince has rubbed elbows with a lot of big politicians, a lot of rich people. Maybe he's got to ace up his sleeve. Maybe he's got a get out of jail card waiting to be cashed in. You never know.
Yeah, you never know what evidence they're going to find either. I mean, again, remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It could get worse. Remember, it started with one, now there's five. And that's only after, what, 2 weeks? Maybe 3 weeks? There's a good chance that there's going to be more.
I think Kevin's out there ready to go protest the courthouse.
Yeah. Don't let Kev on the jury. Good lord.
He gonna block the highway getting there to the courthouse.
Kev's going to be arrested for jury tampering. We're just messing with you, Kev. But, yeah, I don't think Vince is going to walk away from this unscathed. He's at the very minimum, just from the investigation from the board. I think he's going to be out. He's he's going to be on the outside looking in at the company. Mm-mm. You you just don't walk away from something like this.
Yeah, but if you pay
Chris
12,
Brown did not do this, Kev. This is not a Chris Brown situation. You can't compare that to this. That was a completely different situation.
hey, ain't Vince a billionaire, man, with a B?
Um,
If he could throw 12 million to the girls to be quiet, you
remember,
don't
that
think
was
he'd throw?
company.
You don't think well, this time
That
he's got
was
to use his
company
own
money.
money. You don't think he could throw 12 million to a prosecutor or an investigator or a campaign fund?
Nah, that's
It says 2.4 billion is Vince McMahon's net worth.
Yeah, he ain't. They ain't charging him with nothing, man. They ain't.
yeah.
They ain't.
Oh,
These
there's
prosecutors bend over backwards for George Soros for $1 million to help him campaign. Uh,
yeah, there's
he's got
your
2 billion.
difference. There's
He
your
ain't going
yeah.
nowhere.
Jurisdictionally, this will be tried in whichever court oversees Connecticut, most likely. They're not going to be very happy with Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon is a conservative.
Man, the investigators will be at the front row of the next pay per view, man.
No.
They'll be up in the skybox, limousine riding,
A case like
jet
this,
flying.
mm-mm.
George Soros will have you killed, though. Vince McMahon probably won't have you killed. And if he does have you killed, he'll do it classy and have like some professional hitman. George Soros will send some blue-haired meth addict to your house.
Two guys follow you home from Subway.
Kev still doesn't get it. He does. I understand you've never studied this stuff in an academic setting.
Yeah, they would. Vince ain't getting charged with pimping anybody, right? You know,
No, he's not getting charged with the
kidnapping and torture and
no,
none of that. Yeah, okay, not
no,
the same subject.
not the same subject matter whatsoever. And this is a federal case, not a state case. It's a totally different situation.
Plus, that dude's no billionaire, right?
No, and you're much more likely to be convicted in a federal court than in a state court. Yeah, state court, your chances of being convicted 60-40. Federal court, you're looking at 80-20. 80% of all prosecutions by the federal government result in a conviction.
Hey, Kevin does have a point there. What if Vince started singing and snitching everybody out for everything?
Well, it depends on what Vince knows.
That's what I said, man. He's rubbed shoulders with some big wigs in his whole lifetime, man. I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you start your own version of the Red Cross. You don't get to be 2.5 billionaire without doing something that ain't legal or ethical.
Tell
It's just
Bernie, tell
impossible.
Bernie
It's
Madoff that,
impossible.
tell Bernie Madoff that billionaires don't get convicted.
Yeah, that's just a reality. It
Rich people
take
get convicted too, man.
it takes money to make money, and to make money, you gotta spread some cheap money around. I mean, there's no way to make that kind of money and be squeaky clean, man. You just, I don't. It can't be.
Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff got hemmed up because he was ripping off some of the wrong people and got caught.
Too
But
many, and couldn't cover it. Yeah, hadn't been for that, he'd still be in business.
point is, man, the feds don't play. I'm telling you, it's not like locals. Feds do not play. You do not want to end up in federal on anything. It doesn't matter how much money you got. You do not want to end up on the fed or with the feds hauling your ass into court. You do not want that. And if that happens here, like I said, minimum Vince is doing 5 years, and that's if he snitches on what he knows. The feds don't let people walk scot free just because they snitch on somebody. They still will have somebody doing time.
Well, I'll just give Vince the benefit of the doubt. Innocent till proven guilty. Have no problem with that. I'm not casting any blame on his adult actions. But if it's a money deal where he improperly used company money, okay, I'll worry a little more when they actually have an indictment or something for it. But
Kev,
until
Kev you
then,
watch too
he's
many movies.
innocent till proven guilty. Because I think that's kind of foolish. I mean, what's 12 million bucks to him, man? That's like you or I spending $12.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
why would he
15,
have to take that from the company?
15 million.
Other than, I would say, trying to just not have your money, your name involved with this person or something. I don't know, but I just don't get it. I mean, he wouldn't even miss it. He's probably heavily invested in the stock market, and he probably makes and loses his $12 million before we even wake up for
Oh,
breakfast, man.
yeah, I guess yeah, that reminds me. He's not just looking at this; he's also being sued by the partners in the XFL for failure to abide by the contracts he signed with them too. And
Well,
they're
okay, well,
suing
that's
for
sued for money. That's not jail
yeah,
time. No.
yeah.
That's
That
just
that
bad
that.
business.
Hold on, let me finish. He loses that lawsuit, he can lose everything. They're suing for billions of dollars.
Damn, Vince is gonna suicide himself.
Yeah, because they're suing for lost potential income from the league and all this other stuff, and that they were promised by Vince. And yeah, the investors aren't happy, and he's being sued for on that front as well. John Cena ain't got the money to help Vince in this. Kev, don't believe me. You don't understand this.
John Cena's got the China connections, though. He could be just as powerful as Hunter.
I went to school for this shit, dude. Okay, Jason and Kingpin will both tell you this is. I went to school for this. All right. When I'm telling you, Vince is looking at a minimum 5 years. Vince, if this goes criminal case on the federal level, which is who this would go to, Vince is looking at least 5 years minimum. This is not something that you just do and walk away from. It's just how it is.
I say we march for McMahon. We
Yeah.
go find some judges' houses, stand up front.
I think Vince McMahon has got a copy of Hunter Biden's laptop. And on Hunter Biden's laptop, there's an email that Vince McMahon had sent Hunter Biden of a meme of Winnie the Pooh as Xi Jinping. So now the Bidens and the Chinese communists are attacking Vince McMahon.
That, that's dangerous information to reveal.
Yeah, and I still don't think that this is the going to be the end of this. There more is going to come out as this investigation goes along. This is just preliminary, and they're already finding 5 different women that he paid off. There's more. There are a lot. There's God, 5 more maybe at the minimum that they're probably going to come up with. Remember, this goes back 40. This they can go back 40 years on this.
Man, ain't they like accused everybody from Donald Trump to Bill Clinton for the exact same things?
Well, no, because this isn't the federal government accusing.
I know they've accused Trump of this. They've had to. Well, hell yeah. What about the uh, what was that chick's name that was
Stormy
lying about
Daniels.
it? Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Donald
They all
Trump.
been.
Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. Donald Trump paid Stormy Daniels to be quiet about it. I mean, that's very believable that that actually happened. All
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the stuff that they said about it didn't happen. And then that 80-year-old hag that swore that Donald Trump raped her like 5 times a day, she definitely no.
Yeah, keep in mind that though that's the federal government under the Biden administration going after Trump. A lot of this now that's happening. This was not initiated by the federal government. What's going on with Vince? This is somebody most likely who used to work for the company, had the information. Vince pissed them off, and this is their revenge on Vince.
Yeah, that's how
That they
most.
handed this information over to the board of directors.
No, no, that's how the Stormy Daniels thing works. Donald
Mm-hmm.
Trump was probably out somewhere allegedly, and Stormy Daniels was there, so he, hooked up with her and then gave her a few grand to keep quiet about it.
Well, let's not leave out half the equation. Yeah, they were out there, but Stormy Daniels was out there to hook up with at least one billionaire in the room.
Yeah, Stormy Daniels walked past plenty of rooms that had guys like me and Jason in there working. I got to stay at this hotel room because I got to work at the, thing in the. So she wasn't interested in just any dude. She wanted that big, powerful, rich guy. Just like, the girls that go backstage with the rock and roll guy. Steven Tyler, ugliest man on the planet, but the hottest girls in the world want to touch him.
Yeah. Kev's like, he's 78. He should just get the. No, Kev, sorry. You commit a crime, it doesn't matter what age you are. I'm sorry. Age is not a mitigating circumstance to not having to go to prison for your
But what about
crimes.
this? Vince McMahon has provided the United States of America and the world at large with decades and decades worth of fantastic sports entertainment. Isn't that worth anything?
No.
Celebrities produced
Um,
dozens of celebrities.
Phil Spector is sitting in a prison cell for murder right now. Should he have been allowed to stay on the
Phil,
loose because he
Phil Spector was a
produced
child
how many
molester too.
different records?
Yeah, did Phil Spector have Mr. T in the squared circle with Hulk Hogan?
No, Phil Spector only had dang well produced some of the best records ever in music. So I mean, if you're gonna say Vince McMahon because he had Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan in ring together, Phil Spector, man, he put together some of the best records ever.
Vince McMahon's also not accused of murder or child molestation either.
Yeah,
That's
we're
the
just
point.
talking
I mean, just because you
$12 million
do
here, man.
celebrity shit doesn't get you off either.
Oh, I know. I mean, we're just saying. I'm just
I'm just
saying.
saying, it,
Hulkamania,
it's like
WrestleMania.
$12 million ain't that big a deal, man. Come on.
Uh, Vince McMahon had absolutely nothing to do with Ric Flair's career. Nothing.
Vince McMahon invented wrestling, so if it wasn't for Vince McMahon inventing wrestling, Ric Flair wouldn't have become a wrestler. Duh.
And Hornswoggle, I mean, that's not a one to be trying to hang your hat on there.
All right, maybe Vince could do a weekend for that one.
Not
Without
only did
Vince
he do,
McMahon, we
remember,
never would have had
Hornswoggle,
WWE Divas.
yeah, remember, in storyline, Hornswoggle was Vince McMahon's illegitimate leprechaun son.
All right.
Oh, I thought that was Hornswallow.
Yeah, 3MB is another one that you really don't want to go trying to hang your hat on and say that was something great.
All right, so Vince is definitely serving at least a month weekends. We better stop talking about this before we get Vince in trouble. We'll have execute him right now. I'll get the guillotine.
Well,
Yeah, fuck it. He's guilty, man. Get that
now
twisted
he
fuck
says
out of
without
there.
Vince, no Degeneration X. No, without the NWO, there would have been no Degeneration X. Because the NWO was a direct response to the NWO.
Gold dust. Somebody must pay.
Well, yeah, you can get Vince on that one.
We wouldn't have John Cena.
You know what? That wouldn't be a bad thing either.
All right.
All right, Vince, your ass doing a
Yeah,
year and a half, buddy.
yeah.
God
I'm
damn.
gonna warm up the electric chair.
What the hell is he talking about? Without Vince McMahon, no Rocky Balboa and WWE. When the hell did Rocky Balboa ever appear on WWE?
He fought Thunderlips, man.
That wasn't no, because at that time Hulk Hogan was not signed to the WWF. He was in between contracts with the AWA and WWF at the time when the movie was filmed. WWE had no, or what was WWF at the time had nothing to do with Rocky 3.
Oh man, I hope you ain't here at the background, but they're doing tractor pulls tonight over at the fairgrounds.
Again, I have no cares to give about John Cena, to be perfectly honest with you. I am not a John Cena fan. I was never a John Cena fan. And John Cena bending over to kiss China's ass, John Cena can go fuck himself.
China, the country.
Yes. Well, he may have kissed her ass too. I mean, she was kind of scary looking. Please don't hurt me, China.
I won't speak ill of the dead. I always kind of like China, so yeah, I won't speak ill of the dead.
Okay. I'm just asking when. But as far as the WWE have anything to do with Rocky 3, I was saying that's not the case. I mean, I'm not saying that Stallone didn't show up on Raw or something as Rocky Balboa when they were doing that last Rocky movie or what have you. I'm just saying I don't remember it. China and X Pac did a porno movie, so there is that.
That's what
What?
Vivid. That's what Vivid Videos is about.
Was it a ladder match?
No, it was One Night in China.
Ain't she about a foot taller than him?
I think that's the name of it anyway. One Night in China.
One Night in China. Oh, that's fucking original.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Not
Vince have anything to do with that?
no. That was one of the things that got her banned from WWE, among
Oh, so
other
Vince
things.
didn't get his cut of the. You know, Vince always worried more about them DVDs and movies than he was the wrestlers.
Yeah, there's a whole sword story to the China thing with WWE, and
That
most of
chick's
it starts.
mind. That chick's
Um,
mind was twisted. She was not. She was not a well put together person.
no, well, a
Nah.
lot of that came from what WWE, what Vince and Co did to her too.
Uh-huh.
She
Cocaine's a
was
hell of a drug.
she was dating Triple H. Okay, Triple H behind her back started frolicking around, shall we say, with Stephanie McMahon. The two of them go and get married while Triple H is still supposed to be dating China without telling her. Next thing China knows, she's getting fired and sued to keep her mouth shut. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more to the story than just that.
Grabby turtle.
Vince
Peace.
and company did her dirty as all hell, and it fucked with her head.
Yeah,
What up,
her,
Grabby? Peace, Apple. God,
her,
Jason.
yeah, her life, from what I saw, and when she went on that, what was that, MTV shows or whatever that channel that stuff was on with the celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
her life went downhill to a crashing end. There's no
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. And she's remember how, well, you were talking about Scott Hall a couple weeks ago, how he was getting his life back in order and everything, and next thing you know, he's dead. That's the exact same thing that happened with her. She was another one that DDP was helping, and he got her clean and everything, and next thing you know, she was dead.
Hey, I was going to tell you, I keep getting commercials. You know that A&E channel on TV?
Mm-hmm.
They have a show where they talk to like WWE legends or whatever. It's like an hour long show.
Yeah,
New episodes are starting up like this week or next week.
yeah, that's done in conjunction with WWE.
I think they're starting out with the Undertaker this season.
Oh God, Kev Gilberg, really? That's that's the where you want to the hill you want to die on is Gilberg. Gilberg, fucking Gilberg.
Who's Gilbert?
Gilberg was this horrifically bad cruiserweight who Vince had come out mocking Goldberg, and it was god awful.
Who's that black dude that came out with the parrot?
Coco Beware.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Coco Beware. Yeah,
yeah.
the greatest of all time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Dwayne Gill sucked. There's a reason why he was a journeyman, and Vince just brought him in to do that. Christ, who the I can't remember the Chinless Wonder's real name, but he was a better wrestler than Dwayne Gill.
The chinless wonder.
Oh yeah, if you see the guy who I'm talking about, he had no chin. It, he had a
Snakehead.
he had he literally. I mean, if you look at him, top from his mouth up, he had a normal head. Lower jaw down, he had no chin. God, I can't remember the guy's name. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. I can't. Damn it.
So you think Vince is going to get beat up in prison and have to give up his cornbread?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not up to date with the current rules in the penal system. Uh, is it no exceptions, or can he walk in there? I mean, he's used to managing great big strong wrestler guys, and they don't beat him up. So I don't know. Could he like have his own little army, his little bodyguards or whatever, or does you know everybody pay the price in the door? I don't know.
I don't know. Vince McMahon going to be my celly. He might have to buy me a couple packs of ramen noodles.
Oh, if he's myself, I kick his ass.
We're going to the store every week.
who the fuck thinks Dwayne Gill and James Ellsworth, who is the Chinless Wonder, and makes them their tag team champions?
Kevin.
Some promotion did.
If Vince was my celly kingpin, I'd shake him in his throat in his sleep with a shank I made out of saved fingernails.
Yeah, I'd have all kind. I'd have a nice phone card, TV in my cell now, and
I'd
just
look him
tell
in
him
the
straight.
eyes. I'd look him in the eyes and go, Ted Turner, bitch. Fucking turn his throat to roast beef. Actually, if Vince was my celly, I'd be like, hey man, did you actually steal $12 million?
No. Remember, I warned you, this guy has no chin. So keep in mind. You ready for this? You ready to see what this guy looks like? He has no fucking chin. There is no chin. You got jaw, no chin.
Ain't that the coach for the Georgia Bulldogs?
I don't think so. Good Lord. Yeah, that's the guy they called the Chinless Wonder.
And what's his name?
James Ellsworth.
James
James,
Ellsworth.
yes,
The third?
James Ellsworth. Huh?
The third?
No, no, the third or anything along those lines. But yeah, that's the Chinless Wonder.
Yeah, man, he looks like the old coach from Oklahoma or someplace, man. Remember that strange wrestler we watched last month, and he was just odd, and nobody could come up with what that we thought he reminded us of. Remember that dude? He had like a
Yeah,
mustache or something, but remember that strange dude just had that strange look to himself.
yeah, uh huh. The guy that we knew looked like somebody.
Yeah, but we didn't know who he looked like. Never forget what's his name.
Well, fellas, I think it's what what show was it last week that I gave you a link for you guys to watch?
Oh, you talking to me? The pay per view link?
Yeah, what was
It,
that?
it was for the uh, Money in the Bank.
Oh, is that what it was? No, I'm talking about. Didn't you guys watch one when I
Yeah,
had to leave?
yeah. Turned on that what you sent me, Money in the Bank. Me
Oh,
and
was that
Bubba
Money
and
in the
somebody else
Bank?
watched
Okay,
it. Yeah,
I
we
was I,
watched the women's ladder match.
okay. So that's what that was. I can't remember what it was I sent you. That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if it was that or if it was the um, blood and guts for AEW.
No, it was that one, that ladies ladder match. I'm again. I'll go back to that for them to start the thing off on that match. Man, way to go! I mean, that was probably one of the best matches, the best pay per views I'd seen in a long time. Certainly, maybe the best women's match. And it's going to be hard to top that. I don't think any two girls could probably top that one there. That was an amazing effort. The rest of the show really didn't think was all that great. Even the men's ladder match wasn't nothing. But man, them girls tore it up, boy. And then for her to come in and pin Ronda Rousey too when her knee was hurt. Uh, that was probably the best one I've seen in a while.
Yeah, but honest to God, man, you go back and you watch the our watch along when we were watching that. And Kingpin came out with that 9.5 score. I swear, Buck and I were both about to have a heart attack.
So was that.
You scared yourself that much?
I think they should like turn their whole women's league into a ladder match, like everything like the ladder league.
Patriots in the house. We just finished the midget toss.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
finished.
You're
Just
too late, man. We were talking about throwing midgets around and guys without chins. I mean, you missed all of it.
Hey man, how about a female midget ladder match toss?
Now, Kev's out there saying the Usos versus the Street Profits was the best match. So, looking back on that, which was the match of the night for you guys? Because both of those matches were damn good. That was the other one that I think all of us were like 9.5, 9.5 on the match. So, which of those two would have been the match of the night for Money in the Bank, in your opinions? The women's ladder match, or the tag match between the Usos and the Street Profits for the unified tag titles?
I'll go with the ladies ladder match.
I gotta go with the ladies too.
Yeah,
The other one's good. I go, that would have score up there. Maybe even an 8 or something.
yeah. I think what hurt that match was that there was no clean end to it. So the feud's going to go on for the umpteenth damn time because we've seen this before. I mean, they keep doing it. So they wrestled at WrestleMania. I mean, this feud just keeps on going. It's a feud that won't end. And the way they ended that match, they're going to be going again at it again at SummerSlam at the end of the month. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to go. I'm going to agree with you guys. The best match was the ladies' ladder match.
Yeah, the thing that the Usos match didn't end properly. Like I thought it ended kind of lame. Uh, and the women, especially for as much as I'd be completely comfortable with no more women wrestling at all. Uh, but that being said, it was unbelievable watching what they were doing. So there's just the effort and hard work that they put in, and the way that they pulled off all the moves. It was just It was really, really good. So I can't not put that at the top.
Now, Patriot wants to know who shot JR. Nobody. Jim Ross is alive and well.
Uh, it was Sue Ellen.
Sue Ellen shot Jim Ross?
Yeah,
Okay. Damn, I thought she only shot J.R. Ewing. I didn't know she shot Jim Ross, too.
yeah, Jim
Maggie
Ross
shot
Ewing.
Maggie shot Jr. And technically, Jr. was stealing candy from her, and the gun fell over and kind of went off.
Yeah, somebody needs to shoot Jim Ross. That. Jim Ross is the weak point on AEW's broadcast team. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The man is out of his element. He's losing his mind. He can't get people's names right. He can't get moves right. He just needs to retire and go live in the same retirement home with Ric Flair. You know, Ric Flair is going to have another match.
uh,
Still
the
don't know who
death
his
match.
opponent is. God, I hope so. Good.
Who's he gonna take on, Avos?
I have no idea who he's taking on.
778th time world champion.
Woo!
Woo. Talk about ruining your legacy. Sometimes I swear Flair is trying to ruin his own legacy.
What would be cool is if he came out and was, standing out in the ring talking trash about getting ready to have another match and looking forward to kicking somebody's butt. And then Sting came out and was like, "Look, old man, you should give it up." And then got in the ring and they started arguing and they pushed each other around and moved on each other for a little bit and then kind of like knocked each other out. And they were all completely fallen out into the ring to where their buddies had to come and help them out. And then that was like their last match.
Okay, so Patriots asking me who is the best commentator right now. I would say Kevin Kelly, who works for New Japan. You guys heard him on the broadcast for Forbidden Door. He was the guest guy that had the big gold pin on his suit with the New Japan logo on it.
I say Gorilla Monsoon.
Well, Gorilla Monsoon's not broadcasting anymore. He's kind of dead.
He said the best.
Yeah,
He didn't say like currently breathing. He said who's the best.
I know. I'm saying current. That's why I say Kevin Kelly for current. Kevin Kelly for sure. The current crop
They
of all
announced
time. Of all best commentator of all time. I always like Tony Schiavone,
Yeah, Tony Schiavone.
who also is working in AEW, by the way. But Gorilla was a good one too, Jason. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan were epically hilarious as a commentary duo.
Yeah, they like the John Madden, Pat Summerall of sports. Probably minus the fifth of Jack Daniels, but whatever.
Another guy a lot of people don't realize was if they don't if they only remember him from the guy that lost the Monday Night Wars, who was a good commentator, was Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff with when he was teamed with Tony Schiavone, they were a good team.
Man, look how times has changed, man. Imagine working back in the classic days, man. The 70s, the 80s. Guys like that sit up there, be on national TV, smoking a cigarette and drinking a fifth of whiskey at the same time every day. You know,
Mm-hmm.
with nobody getting fired or in trouble about
Uh,
nothing.
Patriots like what? Not the King. God, dude, I can't stand Jerry Lawler. I really cannot stand Jerry Lawler. I never could. As a wrestler, okay. As a commentator, shut him the hell up, please. I never could stand him on the announce table.
You might be talking about me. I'm clearly the best.
Kev says Michael Cole. No, nope, sorry. Michael Cole can't be the best commentator because Michael Cole's not the one actually doing the commenting. Michael Cole is just parroting whatever the hell Vince tells him in his headset. And that has been established that that is what's happening. Michael Cole is not a good commentator. Not anymore. He was before Vince started micromanaging every goddamn little thing. Oh yeah, Wade Barrett was good in NXT.
Well, we know how you feel about JR, but I still say Gorilla's the best all time.
So if you guys remember, Vince was good at it. That's where Vince got his start in the business because he wanted to be a wrestler and his dad told him no. So he still wanted to be involved. So his dad put him on the announce desk and doing backstage interviews. One of the best announced teams was the late '80s was Vince McMahon and Randy Savage. They were really good. Or Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura. They were a really good team. Um, and you had Gorilla Monsoon and excuse me, Jesse Ventura, who were good to get. I mean, that's what WWE for the longest time had a couple of really good teams, but Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler never really clicked for me. I never really cared for that team. Yeah, Taz is doing commentary for AEW. Kev threw Taz out there. But yeah, Taz is a good commenter. When you had Jim Ross and Taz on the announce desk for WWE, that wasn't that wasn't too bad. But that was before Jr. started losing his grasp on the business. Oh, excuse me, on the business too. I think who else was good at it? You have the Godfather, Gordon Soley. That that man was doing that for how many years? Uh, God, who else? Who's the other guy? God damn, I can't think of his name. Shit. Anyway, there have been quite a few good announce teams over the years. What sets Kevin Kelly apart right now is a lot of times on the English broadcast for New Japan, he's the only announcer. He's doing it by himself with that a killer commentator sitting next to him. That's not easy to do. You know, fire up one of these live streams without another person in the chat with you, and you see just how difficult that can be. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time to call it a night because I need to get some sleep. So, Kingpin, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
What's up?
Anything you want to plug before we leave?
Oh, no. Everybody take it easy. Thanks for joining us, Patriot Squid. Not Squid. Squid, probably watching on the replay. Kev, Krabby, oh, peace out.
Yep. You, Jason.
Yeah. Uh, hello to the guys Kingpin just mentioned. The guys out there in the chat. Uh, yeah, just good to hang out this evening. Uh, I still think Vince is innocent till proven guilty, though.
Oh yeah,
Go
definitely,
Vince.
definitely innocent until proven guilty. But I don't
Yeah.
think we're at the
Hashtag.
end. I don't think we're at the end of people that are going to be revealed to have been paid off for Vince's sexual favors. I just don't think we're at. I think we're going to see more, and it's just going to keep piling up to where he's either going to resign completely, and his resignation they won't file any criminal charges or anything, or he's going to fight it, or he have a big head about it, and then there's going to be criminal charges filed against him. And if that happens, he's looking at 5 years minimum. Yeah, that's just again, this is if they get the evidence and we have more people coming out as having been influenced by. Again, big ifs. We don't know all the facts yet, but man, it's not looking good right now.
Just remember, hashtag my Vince, my choice.
Jesus Christ, Jason. I don't think was that covered under the Roe v. Wade decision. Oh my Lord.
My Vince has rights too.
He has a 14th Amendment right to keep his mouth shut. Oh wait, that's Fifth Amendment. He's got a 14th Amendment right to, I don't know, something. See, everybody tries putting everything into the 14th Amendment, including stuff that's not there. So, anyway, have a good night, folks, and we will see you tomorrow night.
You guys are probably really scared right now, and I understand that completely. But I get the better of the deal, and even though it's 3 versus 2, you guys are outnumbered because we're better than you guys. Yeah, we are. We're legends in our own mind compared to you guys. Even though you guys got the egos, we have got the wrestling skill. And this guy